Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available Christmas 2024, the album. Dad, shimmy, shimmy, AF. Rock on, gold dust woman. Beast! How are you guys doing today? Listen, Linda, not Linda, me. Listen, Linda, she, the queen, I'm tired today. I'm very tired today. I always say I'm gonna go to bed early so that I can get up and I can enjoy the day and go to the pool and all this kind of stuff. And then I just push it. I push it and I push it. Do you guys do this? Push it real good. Bum, 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 bum. Do you guys do this? Do you say, okay, I'm just gonna watch one more episode. Okay, so last night, well, I took a nap. And then once I got up, I texted my neighbor. She was like, do you want to go to the pool for a night swim? And I said, well, I'm getting ready to take a nap. And it was 9:30. And she goes, a nap? Why don't you just go to bed? And I go, you know me better than this. This is my nap time. So I didn't go swimming with my neighbor last night. But anyway, so I got up from my nap at 11 o'clock last night. And I went downstairs. I can't remember what I watched first. Oh, I watched Welcome to Plathville because I'm trying to catch up on my shows. Earlier in the evening, I had watched Below Deck Mediterranean. So I'm now caught up on all my shows except for The Housewives because Alex and I, we still have The Real Housewives of Orange County from Thursday night, well, from last night to watch. So that's the only one. Other than that, I'm completely caught up. And I'm also binge watching Sister Wives. Well, there's 5 or 6 shows that I want to watch that just came out, on Netflix and Hulu and Apple and things like that. And so I'm trying to I have lists of all this stuff. You guys have no idea, okay? I keep lists of shows I'm binging, my weekly TV shows, and once I watch them, I check them off. I mean, it's very, very detailed in the TV watching world of Peter Monn. So anyway, last night I was I had forgotten, I think I was doing my vlog when I saw that it had come out or something like that. And my book club partner, Mel, hey Mel, how are you? She had texted me a couple days ago and she said, did you see that this is starting on August 28th? Well, it had come out the day before and I completely forgot about it. On Netflix, that show called Worst Ex Ever, which is from the producers of Worst Roommate Ever, which I'd already watched the 2nd season of, and I had done a reaction on my Peter Watches TV channel. So for those of you that do not know, I have a 7th channel that I started called Peter Watches TV, and on that channel, I cover all kinds of TV shows. I cover reality TV, I cover true crime documentaries, a lot of true crime documentaries. Just recently, the Lacey Peterson and Scott Peterson documentaries that came out on Netflix and Peacock. And then I do a lot of limited series that are on Netflix and things like that. And so I was like, oh, I want to watch this, and then I want to do my reaction to it. So last night I watched Big Brother, got caught up on Big Brother, and then, I'm pissed. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I'm pissed, okay? I'm really, really pissed about last night on Big Brother. So anyway, so I watched Big Brother, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, what do you call it, Worst Ex Ever, whatever. And so I started watching it, and it's only 4 episodes, but each episode is an hour, and it is really, really tense to watch. I'm gonna do my full reaction over on my Peter Watches TV channel today. So if you guys want to know what I have to say about that, please go over there. Like and subscribe. I never say that on any of my channels. Anyway, go over there and watch. I'm gonna do that reaction. I'm probably actually going to turn around right after I get done with this video and film that video. So I stayed up super, super late last night watching that. Well, I finished it, and then I was like, okay, you have to at least get in one more episode of Sister Wives because I'm trying to finish, 462 episodes of Sister Wives before the premiere of season 19 comes out on September 15th. I think I have 8 seasons left, okay? But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So I'm very, very tired today, and my plan was to go to the pool all day long, but I slept in a little bit today, and then I got up, and I was like, okay, well, I have this list of all these videos that I want to film, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the pool. So I went to the pool for a half an hour, and I came back, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start filming these videos. So I actually had a couple different videos that I was going to do. I really wanted to do a follow-up to the video. So this is kind of how, to be honest with you, like, I've talked about this a lot. I don't really care about the views on any of my channels. If I did, I wouldn't keep up some of my channels, like my Peterisms channel. That literally gets like 200 to 600 views. I wouldn't keep that channel around if I cared about the views. But views do indicate to me what people are interested in and what they're not interested in, right? And so I did this video yesterday, and it was called like First Impressions or something. And it was about, I'd asked on Instagram. I actually got tons of responses on Instagram. Just name an influencer, and then I would give you what my first impression was when I first found them, or was introduced to them, or heard of their name, or whatever. And so I did that video yesterday, and I actually had a really, really good time doing that video. I think it got the lowest views I've gotten in like 2 months on a video. But I'm gonna do a follow-up to that, because I had a really, really good time doing that. The AITA, Am I the A-hole video, I did one like a week and a half ago, and it didn't get great. So the views to me kind of indicate what people are interested in, right? So I did an AITA video. Well, I'd never done one on my channel before, which is where you just like read the Reddit thread, Am I the A-hole, and then you respond to it. And I love watching those videos. And so I did one, and it didn't get, the only reason I'm saying this is because this is kind of how I judge what, I mean, I know that people want me to turn my channel into a Robbie DeChristie channel because those are the videos that get the most views, but listen, I don't have anything else to say about her right now. So until I do, until something happens, then I won't be speaking about Robbie DeChristie again. But anyway, so I did this AITA video, and I had a lot of fun doing that as well. But it didn't get a lot of views. But I got quite a few comments from people that were like, nobody really knows that you're doing this yet. So you have to keep on doing it so you kind of get in the algorithm where people know that you're going to do it. I think going forward, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to pick one day a week where I do an AITA video for those people that want to watch it. And then you'll know, like every Friday or every Saturday, I'm going to do one of those videos over here because I had so much fun doing that video. And like I said, I don't really, this is what was weird about the video, right? Was that I didn't get a lot of views on it, and a lot of people didn't watch that video. But the comments that I got, everybody that commented almost was like, I'm so happy that you're doing this. I really loved this video. And so what it told me was that the people that did watch it really, really enjoyed it. And so I really enjoyed doing it, and I'm happy that the people that watched it enjoyed it, so I'm going to keep it up for that, right? So anyway, today I was like, I have like 3 or 4 different things. I was actually going to do an AITA video, and then I was going to do the follow-up to the video that I did yesterday, but I was like, why don't we go back and do some OG beauty influencer drama over here for a good old Friday? Why don't we do some of that? So I was actually preparing for this video, and by preparing, what I mean is that I just got back from the pool like 10 minutes ago, and I was taking my swimsuit off and put my sweat shorts on and picked out a black t-shirt to wear and was trying to figure out what hat to wear because, you know, my icon hat was stolen. So I was like, okay, we'll go with this one because I've been wearing this one like every day. And then I was going through my lip balms. Now, you know, if you've been watching my videos, I got called out bad about this Unicorn Kisses that looks like powdered donuts, okay? So what, I have to tell you the true story though, what makes it even worse, okay, that yes, I was wearing it all through Las Vegas, but what makes it even worse is that I wasn't just wearing the Unicorn Kisses iridescent lip balm, but I was putting lip gloss on top of it, okay? I don't want to recreate the madness today over here. But anyway, and so then yesterday I wore this, what was it called? Magic Mermaid, which was the one that I didn't like. And people were like, oh, it's kind of pretty. It's not that bad. So I think I'm going to use this today because I was actually looking for, because I mentioned in my video when I talked about it, that we were in this restaurant called Super Frico in Las Vegas, and we were talking to the server, and at the end of dinner, because we got to be like real friendly with her, I was like, I pulled out some lip gloss, and I was like, oh, I need to put on some lip gloss. This is when she was like looking at me like, you're crazy, because I had this powdered donut bullshit on my lips, right? And she was like, oh, I have lip gloss too, and she pulled it out, and she was like, Fenty Balm. Well, I was like, what happened to my Fenty Balm lip gloss? Like, I love it, except for that it gets in the corners of my mouth. And what I remembered was, this is how people in my life get in, okay? This is how they get in. I remembered that a couple weeks ago, I was with my cousin Caroline for, did she look like a powdered donut? I think she kind of did, but it's okay, whatever, I'm sorry. We're just going to have to deal with it today. Put a little lip gloss on top of it, call it a day. But anyway, it reminds me so much. My mom, for like, I think 25 years of her life, she wore this Clinique lipstick called Salmon Ice. Whenever I say it, people like, they think I'm talking like Mike and Ike's, like salmon ice. It's like salmon, like the fish, like salmon ice. And what it looked like was like, you know, when you see like a fish, like going on the top of the water, like the glinting of the fish, is that what it's called? Like the glimmering of the fish. You know what I'm talking about? That's what the lipstick looked like. It was the powdered down note. My mom wore that for like 25 years. And sometimes she would put it on her cheeks like this and she would like rub it in. So anyway, I was like, what happened to my Fenty Balm lip gloss? And then I remembered, okay? I was with my cousin Caroline, who I have given so many beauty products to through the years. And I was with her, and I was like, I pulled out the lip gloss, and she was like, what lip gloss is that? And I was like, oh, it's this Fenty Balm lip gloss. I've been using it in my videos and whatever. I like it, but it like gets in the corners of my mouth and stuff like that. And she goes, well, let me try it. And so she tried it, and she like looked in the mirror, and she's like, oh, I think this is so pretty. And I was like, yeah. I was like, well, I can get you one. She's like, well, if you loved me, you would just give me this one. And she just stopped, okay? And I'm like, this is like how I feel like I've dealt my entire life with people, okay? And I go, what? I go, well, we can just go to the store and I can get you one. She's like, no, I want this one. She's such a bitch, man. My cousin is such a bitch. Caroline, I love you. This is where the haters are like, Peter, call this cousin Caroline a bitch. She knows I do. I call it to her face. Anyway, she calls me one too. We call each other a bunch of bitches. It's whatever. You know, that's how you know you love somebody. You call them a bunch of bitches. So anyway, I'm like, what, Caroline? And she goes, well, if you really loved me, you know how pretty this looks on me. You would give it to me. And I'm like, okay, here you go. Just gave it to her. So Caroline's got my Fenty. She's like, thanks. She put it in her purse and like closed up her purse. Just like she knew I was going to give it to her. She is the mean girl in my life. She so is. But no, I love my cousin Caroline so much. And for those of you that want a little update about our prison grandma, I know whenever I say this, there's always one person that's like, what? Your grandma went to prison? I've been talking about it for 15 years in videos. After my mom passed away, we found out through my father that my mom's mom had gone to prison. Now, at that time, we thought that it was just one time, okay, for embezzlement. She was an OG. We have now found out that it was 2, probably 3 times that she went to prison. She spent many years at Indiana Women's Prison. Anyway, my dream would be to interview, because my grandma passed away, I think, in 87. My dream would be to interview my grandma's cellmate at Indiana Women's Prison. But since my grandma would be like 120 at this point, or 110 or something like that at this point, that would make, no, she wouldn't be that old. She'd be like 90 something, I think. No. She wouldn't be that old because my mom would be like 80. So she would be like 102 or something. The fact that I will probably be interviewing her cellmate is not going to happen. But Caroline and I want to do this like documentary series. It was going to start off as a podcast called Cousin because we wanted to get a reality show. None of this is real. I mean, this is just stuff we talked about, but we knew it wasn't real. And so we think we're going to do like a video series, but we're not going to start it till next year because the pool's open and things like that, you know? And so it's like, we'd rather like spend time at the pool than spend our time in government buildings tracking down where our mothers were in foster care. I mean, like, that's not something you want to do on a 100-degree day in Indianapolis in August when you can be at the pool all day long. That shit can wait, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, I love my cousin Caroline so much. For those of you that don't know, after the accident, and when I decided that I wasn't going to drive anymore for the rest of my life, my cousin Caroline made a commitment that she was going to come and pick me up at once a week. It's usually on Wednesdays, and we do Cousin Fun Day. And she takes me around, and we run errands, and everything that I need to do, she does that day. I mean, my husband's fantastic, too. He takes me, you know, on the weekends and any other time. But that's like a dedicated time for Caroline and I to spend together. And Caroline and I have gotten so close to this process, and I am so incredibly grateful for her. I love my cousin Caroline. I mean, she and I are 3 years apart. We're only children from mothers that were only sisters. We're literally like brother and sister, and I'm so incredibly grateful for her. And around, like, I think we were like a month or 2 into it, and I said something to her about, like, you know, I don't want you to feel like you have to do this or whatever. Like, I really greatly appreciate it. And she said, this is for the rest of our lives. Like, I'm making this commitment to you for the rest of my life. And I just feel so incredibly blessed to have amazing people like that in my life. And, you know, and I was thinking about this the other day that, like, I came back and I didn't really know how I was going to come back on video. I kind of didn't think I was going to even go in this direction. We were keep this funny today. You know, I came back after the accident and I really didn't know, like, how do you pick up and flip a fan and be funny again, you know? And I was being encouraged by my therapist and my sponsor just to, like, kind of, like, move on, you know? And I didn't really know how to do that. I'm not a believer in the word move on. I'm a believer that we move through the pain and we carry that with us for the rest of our lives. But I just want to say that all of you out there that watch my videos gave me a safe place to land when I came back, and gave me a place that I felt safe, and I could laugh, and I could share, and I could heal, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for that. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, so let's get into, didn't think I was getting into all that today. Okay, let's get into the drama of it all. The drama of it all, and I think I need a little bit more. Should I put the powder, I can't put the powder donut lipstick on. I just have to tell you, okay? Let me tell you about shady ass Zachary Michael. So for those of you that do not know, Zachary Michael, I consider Zachary one of my dear friends through YouTube, and Zachary is absolutely hilarious, and also one of the kindest people I've ever met, and also one of the smartest people. I think that's one of the things that's, I don't know, like, so he does a lot of Amberlynn Reid content, Foodie Beauty, Chantal, Foodie Beauty, and stuff like that. He's so naturally hilarious in his video coverage that he does. I mean, I say to him all the time, I'm like, I don't know how you watch like 3-hour live streams and you keep up with it. And he's like, well, this is what I do and I have to do it, you know? But I just want to say, like, Zach has been somebody that has always, like, checked in on me when I'm having a hard time and, like, supported me, like, when good things are happening, and has been a true friend to me, and I'm forever grateful for him. And if you guys don't know Zachary, and he does, you know, Amberverse and all that kind of stuff, and Girl World, go check out Zachary Michael. He's absolutely fantastic, and, it's so much smarter. Like, I don't mean this to be, like, I think he'll know what I mean by it. But, like, he is so smart. I mean, literally one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And so kind and so generous. And also one of the wittiest, most sarcastic. I mean, literally shade for shade. Shade for shade when we talk. He's so fantastic. But he texted me today and he said, wait. Because I was talking about the lip balm, right? The comments about the lip balm were so real, because I wanted to say something to you too, but was like, let me just let Peter live his life. I was like, girl, not you trying to get me for the lip balm too. Okay, there's a few things we could come for you too, Zachary Michael. Anyway, okay, let's get into this. So I wanted to do kind of like a fun OG drama channel video today. You know, back in the day when you could talk about like somebody like, you know, rolling their eyes at a meet and greet and it'd pull 40,000 views. These aren't those days. Okay, I know that, okay? I know that many people aren't interested in Jeffree Star. To tell the truth, I'm not that interested in Jeffree Star anymore, okay? But I am interested in the motives of people, all right? And I am interested in why people are doing things, because I think that there's always more to the story. And I think, like, looking back on the drama that I have covered in the last 8 years, oh my God, the 1st of September is my 8-year anniversary doing this. And, you know, I think one of the things that's interesting to me is looking at why people do certain things. And what I have learned through the years is, from obviously talking to other people, talking to other influencers, knowing the true story, like, you know, at the time or 2 months later, I'll find out like what was really going on, but nobody really cares anymore, stuff like that, is that there's always a motive to why people do these things. I want to say this, like, again recently on a lot of my videos, in talking about like James Charles and people like that, and, you know, even Colleen Ballinger, I'm getting, like, a lot of comments where people will be, like, their team or their PR person or their image consultant. I have talked to enough of these people to know that they don't have PR people. I think Colleen probably did in relation to, like, her Netflix show or her tour and things like that. But the majority of these people, I think we see them as, like, big-time celebrities because they have millions of followers and things like that. I don't know that they necessarily, like, I don't think they view themselves that way as, like, a business entity. I think they, with the arrogance they do and the ego, but as far as needing to protect themselves that way, like, I can't tell you how many of these people that I've talked to before, Jeffree Star, James Charles, Shane Dawson, that have no PR people. Toddy Westbrook, you know, when they would say something to me and I'd say, well, what does your PR person say? And each of them would say, I don't have a PR person. And it just baffled me why, on the minimum, you wouldn't, as much money as you're making, right? I mean, we're talking about people that are making sponsorships of hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? This is where I feel like the greediness and the ego comes in, and it takes over where it could really be helpful for them. Why you wouldn't hire somebody straight out of college, okay, that could be like an on-call PR person that is well-versed in how to maneuver this universe, and how to put out a statement, or how to take accountability in a way that, you know, how to do things, you know, like sound bites and things like that. You know, it's interesting because, like, my husband doesn't watch any of this kind of stuff. My husband is in marketing and PR, and that's what his degrees are in and things like that. And so it's interesting because, you know, he'll say things to me like when I'm watching videos and I'm preparing for something, he'll have no idea who I'm watching, right? But he'll say, like, that was really not smart that they said that. And I'll be like, why? And he'll say, because that's a soundbite. Like, somebody can clip that and use it as a soundbite, and it will be, like, used over and over and over again. I cannot tell you how many times I'm, like, watching a video, and he'll say that about something, and 2 months later, it's like a meme on TikTok. And it's so true. And so if they just even hired, like, a PR person just to have, like, on retainer, that they paid $30,000 on contract. I'm not talking to work 40 hours a week. I'm talking about somebody on contract that if something happened, they could pick up the phone and they could call them, right? Like with this whole situation with James Charles in the leaked video, that he just has somebody on retainer that he just pays $30,000 a year, and then maybe for their time every time he uses them. And then when something like this happens, he picks up the phone and he calls them and goes, can we have a meeting, like a Zoom meeting? Like, I don't know what to do and how to maneuver the situation. And then that person says to them, yeah, there's a couple different ways. Like, you can get on video and you can, you know, play the victim, and you can say, I'm really shitty that this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. You can take your power back. You can make a joke out of it. You can make merch out of it. These are your 5 or 6 different options. But they don't do any of that. And you can tell because they don't know what they're doing, right? And it's very obvious to me as just, I mean, I cannot tell you how many people through the years have said to me, Peter, you need to start a PR agency. I literally just got a DM the other day that said, I don't know why, like, all these people keep on saying to you that you need to start a PR agency that you never have. First of all, these people would never hire me, okay? That would be one reason why. Like, I mean, I've given so much free advice, and none of them take it. So I don't really want to work for somebody and take their money where I'm giving them advice. I'd rather sit on this end, and I can give a good opinion, and if they want to take it, they can take it. I'm so far past the point that if they do what I say in a video, and listen, I do not think that I'm the end all, okay? But what I do know is that going into any situation, you have numerous options on how you can handle a situation or why you can handle a situation a certain way. That doesn't take a PR agent or a PR genius to figure that out. That takes a normal human being looking at the situation. How many times do you look at a situation that has something to do with drama or scandal, whether it's on Love Island, Big Brother, a beauty influencer, or a major celebrity, and you go, that's probably not how I would handle it, or I would say something different. That's common sense. Well, that's one of the things that most of these people do not have. They don't have common sense. That doesn't take a PR agent, you know? For example, when I said, talking about Manny and Lauren, I think this is kind of a safe example to use, they were so put out that their audience came for them and said that they didn't like their set for their podcast. They didn't like their set for their podcast, okay? This was such an opportunity to really, like, make it into something else. If they had made it into a joke, okay, and every single time, if they had, like, I'm just pulling this out of my head right now, right? Like, or out of my ass. Like, they could have said, like, they could have done a contest and said, like, we're gonna, like, in the comment section, let us know how you think we should set up our studio, and then every single set, we're gonna pick their idea. That would have got more people to watch their podcast, okay? Or they could have switched it up every single time. Or they could have read through the comments and laughed at them, you know, or they could have done some complete opposite, you know, or they could have changed a little bit at each time. Or so many people said it looked like a dentist office. They could have put welcome to the dentist office behind it. It would have been hilarious. You know, it's moments like that are missed, that they get so upset and they take themselves so seriously, they really miss the opportunity of it all, you know? It's like recently I talked about, in one of my videos, I talked about how this picture has been floating around for years, right? And the picture is of me, like, on a beach, and I use the word gutted, and a couple people were like, I've never heard that word before. It means I have a big gut, is what it means, okay? But I was like 65 pounds heavier in this picture. My husband is doing like an Instagram reel and he's going back to the beach. You can see me in the background sitting in this chair, okay? And I have a huge gut and I'm smoking a cigarette. I literally had somebody try to blackmail me over this picture, okay? Like, I'm in Miami, enjoying my best life, and I get this DM from this person, which I have saved and all this kind of stuff, about if I do not come out and address the fact that I'm smoking a cigarette, that they are going to expose me to all these drama channels, who all knew that I smoked cigarettes from time to time at that time, and they all smoke as well. So I don't know what they thought, but anyway, I ended up putting out this big statement. I was like, you might see me smoke a cigarette from, I mean, it's ridiculous when there's literally channels that are vaping and smoking and nobody says anything, right? Okay. But this picture has been thrown up there a lot, okay? It's complete body shaming is what it is. It's 100% body shaming. The only reason they use that picture is to body shame me. I'm literally sitting on a beach, okay, in a lounge chair with my stomach out huge, okay? And I'm literally like, I mean, when I first saw this picture, I was so embarrassed. I know how I look. I know how I look, you know, with no shirt. And so I was so embarrassed when this picture came out. Today, to use that picture is completely body shaming. 100%. And so, you know, recently when I was talking about the Manny and Laura thing, I was thinking about like stuff with my channel, and I was like, you know what? Take ownership back over it. Put that body, you know, be proud of yourself today. I mean, I've lost 60 pounds, you know? Yeah, well, I didn't work to lose a lot of it, but I've worked to maintain a lot of my weight loss. And so, you know, I thought, put that up on a t-shirt, you know, sell that as some merch, living my best life, you know, gutted and smoking a cigarette. Live your best life. I mean, these are moments that they could turn into something. They choose not to. You know, they choose not to. They choose to get that upset about it. And this is where a PR person would be great, right? Like, if they're that pressed about it, that they're going to talk 15 to 20 minutes in a video about their set, that could be a 15 to 20 minute phone call that they could have with a PR person. Okay, now you're also talking about people that own major brands. You're talking about Jeffree Star that owns a brand. Now, I do believe that Jeffree Star probably has some PR people around his brand, but I do not believe that Manny MUA or Laura Lee have anybody around their brand. I know James Charles doesn't have anybody around his brand. He might have consultants, but he doesn't have on-hire people. I know that, okay? So what that means is that they're not ever consulting people. Well, that would be a 10-minute phone call that Laura Lee and Manny could have said, what do we do with this? People are really upset. First of all, any PR person would say, you're taking yourselves too seriously. This is an opportunity, okay? This is a moment to turn it into something hilarious and big and benefit off of it. They didn't do that. So now they become the joke because they took it too seriously, crying a river about there. This is where these people, they need to have PR people, all right? This is where the motive is interesting to me. I don't really give a shit about their set. I don't really give a shit about Jeffree Star opening a store. The motive is interesting to me. It's like watching true crime, right? That the motive behind it is what's always interesting to me because I want to know, like, why are they doing this? What are they doing this for? And whatever. Okay. So I saw recently that Jeffree Star is opening a store, another meat and makeup store. Missed opportunity. Completely missed opportunity, okay? So I saw that he is opening this store. Hold on, I have it all screenshot. I was just going through his Instagram. And on here, he says that they just announced that the store is going to be in Chatsworth, California and LA County, okay? And so I'm not going to throw up all the pictures, but you can see there's pictures in there of the store. And he's like, it's going to have complete skincare. It's going to have everything Jeffree Star, blah, 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 whatever. And so here he is, and he's walking into the store, and he says the second ever Jeffree Star retail store opens in LA on August 31st at 11 a.m. The city of Chatsworth just got a lot more glamorous. Come on, new chapter. The ribbon cutting will be at 11 a.m. And then it goes on, where I had it all saved. Hold on a second. Okay, here it is. You're invited to our grand opening. And there's like a little invitation thing. Star fam, pull up. You're officially invited to the most epic grand opening this Saturday. LA is getting its very own Jeffree Star makeup and meat headquarters location, and we can't wait to celebrate with you. Shop our newest collections and discover cult favorites. Spend over $150 and snag an exclusive LA goodie bag filled with $800 plus value in must-have products. Limited quantity available. So, I mean, what, 5? After 5 people, you don't get it. Shop our newest collections. Okay. Meet and greet with Jeffree Star kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Don't miss it. Win Saturday, August 31st, LA, or 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it tells you where. Can't wait to see you there. And it talks about the goodie bag. Snag our LA exclusive with purchase of over $150. You have to spend $150 to get the goodie bag. And all this kind of stuff. And then it says the meet and greet with Jeffree Star. Now, I have to tell you, Hair by Jay, I thought Miss Continental pageant, my favorite drag pageant of life, is this weekend in Chicago, Illinois. I saw that hairdo, and I was like, is that Miss Oklahoma Continental? Is that Miss Oklahoma Continental right there? Okay, L-A-H-O-M-A, Oklahoma. Okay. I looked at this, and he is carrying this, you know, that SWAT stick or whatever for horses. And I was thinking of that scene. This is going to stop in just a second. Hold on. Okay, and I was thinking of that scene from Euphoria. Did y'all watch that show? That is one of the most fantastically written shows and one of the most realistic shows about addiction that has ever been made. But you know that scene when Sydney Sweeney is in the bathroom and she's dressed up looking like she's in Oklahoma, and she's sitting there and that gal says to her, I can't remember what her name is, Maddie or something like that, and she says to her, why do you look like you're dressed up to audition for Oklahoma? And she goes, do I look like I'm auditioning for Oklahoma? And the girl says to her, you better fucking be lying. Why is Jeffree Star, why she do us like this? Girl, Hereby J has fucked you again, okay? Hereby J is so pissed at you, girl, that he done put that ugly ass wig on you. Girl, and this is an accessory. Do not come for me and say I am in any way body shaming. This is a choice whatsoever, okay? That's like somebody saying they don't like my hat. My hat is ugly as shit. This is an accessory, okay? This ain't body shaming somebody. That's an accessory. That looks like Miss Oklahoma Continental. Miss Oklahoma Continental, she's hot, okay? This looks like, I don't know, Miss Oklahoma City Continental 4th alternate is what this looks like. Girl, I don't know what is going on. But I did think about flying out to LA for this meat and makeup shop opening. I did. I thought, you know what? Maybe me and Boo Radley, my dog Boo Radley, maybe we will fly out there to go visit the Lonely Doll. Maybe I'll take my book, The Lonely Doll, out there and I'll have him sign The Lonely Doll for me. And I'll do a meet and greet with Jeffree Star. But then I thought, you know, tomorrow I gotta water the ferns, and then, I mean, the pool closes in a week from Sunday. I might only have 1 or 2 more days. You know, I got some Sister Wives episodes to watch. I got better things to do than go to this meat and makeup shop, okay? I do. So anyway, now I do think people will show up to it. I really do. First of all, it's in LA. I think he'll get more traction than he does in Casper, Wyoming. But this is the thing, okay? Jeffree Star's not as hot as he was, you know, 4 or 5 years ago when he and Shane Dawson put this thing out. I mean, when that Morphe store opened, I mean, like, that was a moment, right? Like, we can all admit, that was a moment when they opened that Morphe store. So, we're not living in those times with Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star is not that relevant today. He's not that popular. This store will do well for like a month, and then it will completely die down. I literally have people send me pictures of the parking lot, like, on the daily that live in Casper, Wyoming, and the Jeffree Star store in Casper, Wyoming, the parking lot, like, every day is empty. I have somebody that literally every time they drive to work, they send me a picture in the middle of the afternoon, and it's completely dead. There's no traction on that store whatsoever. Well, what I know is that Jeffree Star established residency in Wyoming for tax write-offs. We know that. Celebrities do this all the time, okay? What I have to believe is that if you own a business in Wyoming, the tax write-offs are great as well. So I think that's why he did it. What I don't understand is why he is building another business in Los Angeles unless it's... There has to be some business motive to this, some tax motive, you know? I mean, this is the thing, right? Okay, so Jeffree Star hinted out that he was putting this autobiography out. That autobiography hasn't come out. Now, he hinted that that was coming out in, like, the beginning of 2024. We're now coming up on the 4th quarter of 2024, and that book hasn't come out. I think Jeffree Star knows that that book might do very well at first, and then nobody will be interested in it, okay? I mean, when's the Jeffree Star book coming out? He has hinted out music for the last 3 to 4 years. Where's the Jeffree Star music? He acted like he was in Tennessee. You would think he'd put clips of this music out. He did. He acted like he put a clip of this music out. Is there any hint of this music coming out? I mean, does anybody care anymore that Jeffree Star's... The thing is that people that love Jeffree Star are like, yes, I can't wait for the music of Jeffree Star. But it's not like to the mainstream world. And I think this is the problem, right? Is that Jeffree Star moved from MySpace to YouTube. And then he became this, like, makeup phenomenon, right? Like, was bigger than his music ever was. For him to step back into that at a time where he's really not that relevant anymore, when we have TikTokers that are taking off that are that big, I think he knows, like, this book is not going to do that great. His music will do okay, but it won't do that great. And so, what a sad way to go out. Now, I've talked about this in previous videos before. We have a very, very dear friend of ours, okay? That's in the industry. And I would say, oh God, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, she was off, this was, well, maybe it was longer than that. It was when Playboy was really a big deal still. Like, Playboy's not a big deal. It's been, you know, bought and sold and all that kind of stuff. But this is when Playboy was really still a big deal. And she was offered a spread in Playboy and offered quite a bit of money to do this spread in Playboy. And I remember talking to her and I said, like, what do you think about it? She's like, oh no, it's an absolute no. And I said, like, why? Like, you know, you've done like topless photos and whatever. She's like, it has nothing to do with that. She was like, Playboy is where you go out. She was like, at the end of my career, she said, let me say if like they reached out to me at the end of my career, that would be like a way to go out. She's like, I'm very proud of my body. She's like, there's no reason why anybody shouldn't be proud of their body. She's like, but I'm not going to do Playboy in the middle of my career. She's like, that's a going out kind of thing. Well, I've said this with Jeffree Star for quite some time, that I thought it would be a sad day. As talented, as great as a business person as I've said Jeffree Star was, I thought he was, I'm starting to think he's not, right? That Jeffree Star, like, dying doing a TikTok battle with somebody that nobody knows while he's tipping himself from his Jeffree Star Cosmetics account is really kind of a sad way to go out, right? Well, I'm not really sure why he's doing this makeup business right now. It really is getting my wheels turning. I feel like there's some reason why he is establishing, because he said something about this is going to be the flagship business and the warehouse and whatever. It's interesting to me that he's shifting all of that from Casper, Wyoming to LA, unless he's going to make some grand re-entrance to LA. But I don't think it really matters where he's at. I think he's just lost his relevancy, period. Unless he's going to go and start doing this TikTok selling stuff, this is the only thing I could think. Because I'm like thinking through everything, right? Like, why is he like now setting up shop back in LA? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, he made such a grand gesture of coming out of LA and being done with LA, right? So to go back to LA makes no sense. This is the thing, like I said, for the first month, I think a lot of people will come and probably visit the store. But after the first month, I mean, are really that many people interested in Jeffree Star anymore that they want to buy his own products? This is the thing that's really sad about it, right? Is that this is not the moment for Jeffree Star to do this. Several years ago, when he and Shane Dawson were... Do you remember this whole thing about, like, Morphe wanting to direct and he could call the shots and whatever? That would have been the moment for Jeffree Star to open his store. That should have been when he did it. He should have opened the store at the end of that series and said, no, we aren't going to do this with Morphe. We're going to open the Jeffree Star store, and this is where we're going to release it. It would have been hundreds of thousands of people that would have shown up to it at that time. He was at the top of his game. The other thing that's really interesting to me about this is that when you're talking about, unless it has to be a complete write-off, because Jeffree Star knows, I mean, first of all, we're not in a world anymore where people are buying brick and mortar stores. It's all online websites at this point, right? So the fact that he now has 2 brick and mortar stores, I mean, anybody that knows anything about business knows that that's write-offs. Okay, that's for write-offs. Unless you're like a restaurant or something like that. It's really for write-offs, because there's no reason for Jeffree Star to set up a store that's going to have meat and makeup in it that you can get everything online, that very few people are going to visit unless they think that they might run into Jeffree Star, right? So there's no reason to do it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever unless it's a write-off, because I just don't think that many people are going to go out of their way to go to Casper, Wyoming, or out of the way in Los Angeles to go, unless they think that they're going to run into Jeffree Star or they're huge Jeffree Star fans. And the reality is, there's just not that many Jeffree Star fans anymore. What would have been a better idea is if he started a chain of stores, because he acts like he wants to start this chain of stores, right? And he's been spending a lot of time in Tennessee and Nashville. People are speculating that it was about he's dating this guy. He's not dating that guy, okay? Jeffree Star, if Jeffree Star is in a real relationship, until it's like cemented that he's in that relationship like Nathan Schwandt, he's not going to show that person, okay? That's what we know. Every person that Jeffree Star shows that he's dating is a fake. That's what we know. It's all just, it's shit and glitter show is what it is, okay? The next person that he's really dating, we will not see that person for a while until they moved in together. And I don't know that he's even looking for that right now. He's been spending a lot of time in Nashville. People are speculating that he's spending a lot of time in Nashville because he is doing music. I'm not necessarily sure that that's the case. I think he might be setting up his 3rd store in Nashville. But I don't really understand why he's setting up these stores unless they're just huge tax write-offs. They don't really make a lot of sense to me. What would make sense to me is if he started a chain of stores and he called them Jeffree Star approved. Now, I was sitting at the pool and I thought of this today, okay? So this is not something... This is where I'm starting to think that these people really don't have a lot of talent, and they don't really have a lot of ideas. If this is literally something random that I could have pulled out of my ass while I'm sitting at the pool, okay, for a half an hour. Jeffree Star, it would have been really smart for him to start a chain of stores called something like Jeffree Star Approved, where he could sell all of his meat and he could sell all of his makeup, but he also could sell products that he approved, okay? And then people would come there because they would be like, and maybe he doesn't sell those products online. Maybe he only exclusively sells them in the store, like a Sephora, okay? Or like a Morphe, where he does collaborations with other people. This would be a smart time for Jeffree Star to start reaching out to other people and doing collaborations with him like he did with Shane Dawson. The Shane Dawson collaboration was brilliant for him. It like made him a lot of money. Well, this might be a moment for him to reach out to some other people and do some collaborations, not just with Shane Dawson. He could be the new kind of Morphe, right? And I do think that this is the time. I think if he waits a year or two, it's going to be over. I think if he waits a year or two, nobody's going to care anymore. But if he had done like a Jeffree approved store where half of the store was products that he had contracts with for distribution, and it's like my favorite mascara of the moment, my favorite lip gloss, my favorite that, but he doesn't want competitors with his own brand, so he won't do that. But financially, it would have been very, very smart because people love his Jeffree Star approved videos. They would go there, they would buy his makeup, they would buy some beef jerky, but then they would also buy some of the products that are, you know, there. It would have been smarter for him to do that. To do this idea of what like a Sephora and Ulta and things like that have done. Not on that level, but he could have had a special section that was just Jeffree Star approved products. And then he could come back and he could start doing YouTube videos and he could start doing TikToks that were just Jeffree Star approved that would drive traffic to that. And then once the store was in place and he was going to start 1 or 2 stores, he could pull it online. And then he could share only a certain amount of those products online and say, go watch my TikToks and my YouTube videos because I'm going to announce the next thing. It would have driven a lot of traffic through all those ways. I don't really understand why he's not thinking these ways. When I literally was sitting at the pool and I thought of it in 5 minutes. And that's just one idea. I could come up with 30 ideas for Jeffree Star, okay? So call me Jeffree, I got 30 ideas for you. I got 30 ideas for all these people. Who I don't have ideas for? Myself. I tell people this all the time when they reach out to me for ideas. I'm like, I can come up with 100 ideas for somebody else. I can't come up with any ideas for myself. So I'm very surprised by all this. I don't know the motive for him starting the store. I mean, Jeffree has to know. Jeffree is a good enough businessman and has made enough money that he has to know the store is not going to be lucrative over time. It's not, you know, it's not going to be making money 5 years from now with him selling this beef jerky. The beef jerky is not selling that great. It's selling at some restaurants, you know, that he's got the burgers at. It's selling a little bit online, but it's not like, I mean, people are dying. I mean, it's not like I'm seeing tons and tons of reviews. His makeup's not even getting those kind of reviews anymore. People aren't like, his makeup's not selling out. You know, when people want to say, well, he bought too much of it, it's been years since it hasn't been selling out. The mystery boxes don't sell out. The makeup doesn't sell out. The palettes don't sell out. He can't sell out of anything. He's lost his relevance. So he needs to do something. I mean, really, in all honesty, this would be the moment for him to bring up some drama. I mean, if this is the moment, if I were him, I would talk about the James Charles allegations from the past. I would bring it up. I'd come out and do a full expose about what happened. Because he's only got about 6 months to a year where people are still kind of interested in that. If he came out and talked about it now, I think he could build his relevancy back up again. This is the moment to do it. I don't know why these people are so scared to bring that stuff up. But they are. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.